anyhow, that's looking west. Yeah. This is one of the oldest photographs. This is about 1880. We're standing on the roof of the title company at Hudson Street and Main Street. We're looking west. The only identifier here that's still here, and you can see it in the photograph there, and this is the hotel. It's right there. This is Falconer's store, which he later built a hotel on the back of that property. All residences down here. Right here is, I think this is a fruit drying structure. There's one like that up at Watkins Mill, where they can just put trays of fruit on a wire and then dry it. Right here is the city scale on the east end of town. When farmers brought in a load of wheat, corn, potatoes, whatever they were going to sell by the pound, they would stop here and weigh them, go to Schoengert's or go to Eisenstein's and make their deal on how much a pound they were going to get paid for it. Go back up here, weigh their wagon and team again. Hopefully the horses eliminated a little bit before they got back. And then the difference was the weight that they got paid for. There's city scale on the east end of the business district, and also we'll show you a picture of the courthouse, and there's a city scale there too. Okay. Here we are looking west in the, I would say 1917, maybe up to 21 or 2 cars. But right here is the Ford garage, which is it's on the corner of Hudson and Main Street. This awning here is the Opera House. This is where Terry Brock's real estate office is. This was the, can't come with the name, but it was hotel. It's where Bill Bush had a harness shop, which Oscar Casina bought, and then Casina became a shoe shop, and then he built a building right in here that still stands. Some Huff kids got an insurance agency in there. Okay, good one too. Okay. This is the Opera House. This picture showed up. I have not seen it. I've been looking for 25 plus years for a good picture of the Opera House. Right back here is Wilhelmina Schultz's house. Probably she taught about half of you in grade school. This is the entry to the upstairs of the Opera House. It's a long flight of wooden steps. This is about 1960. Perry Ludwig had a drugstore here. J.C. Wells had a pool hall. Clayton Shaw's grandfather had a saddle shop right in there. We had progressed to the point that we wanted to be able to clean up, so we had these waste bins on the corner. Okay. And we're blacktop here too. Okay, now we've gone down, we're standing in the intersection of the courthouse, which would be Market Street and Highway 47, or Highway M, Main Street, looking up the hill. It would be right over here at this intersection. This is Schoengert's here. This tells me, and on a photograph with the magnifier, you can read Goebel on that. Goebel was a photographer out of St. Charles that you'll find a lot of good old photographs that were done by Goebel all through the eastern part of the state. we're standing here, and everybody's looking at us standing in the middle of the intersection down here. Go up one a little bit. Right here is a gas or candle or kerosene street light. Again, even up here, you can see these people are looking at us down here taking a photograph. Next photograph. And here's what they're looking at. There's cows in the street. Okay, and we didn't have open range. This is the Eisenstein building right here. All these people are looking this way. I think Mr. Goebel took the opportunity to take a picture of an unusual thing, and we just happened to have, and we've been able to put several photographs together that we could tell they were taken at the same time and why they were taken. Central Hotel was a landmark lodging and eating place on the Boonslick from 1850s, I believe it goes back to. Okay, there's those light standards. This is the Schoenberg, or the Eisenstein building. You'll see A. Eisenstein here, 1880. Albert Einstein, Eisenstein, came and bought this building, not this one over here, but this building here, with his 8 children from his wife's uncle, Adolphus Hart, who was in business at Schoenberg, on some property over there behind this for a while. The Eisensteins were another merchant family. After he bought this, within a couple of years, he had built a 30-foot addition on here. Christmas Eve, 1911, Albert Eisenstein is in his chair up in one of these rooms, because the family all lived upstairs here, having trouble getting his breath. He's just back from Arkansas. He'd been to Arkansas to take in the health waters to try to recover his health. His wife had died about 6 years before, and his health had declined since then. He's just back from a 3-month trip to Europe, again trying to recover his health. Across the street in the Schoenberg building, because it's December 24th, 1911, it's reasonable to assume that the Schoenberg children are filling paper bags with candy and treats, because Margaret said that's something they did. In 1911, she would have been 10 years old. Her brother Neil would have been a couple of years older. But they would be filling these treat bags, because Margaret said they did that every year, and then people would come in on Christmas Day and get their treat bags. So while Margaret, Neil, and the other kids are filling treat bags, Albert is taking his last breath over here across the street. Albert dies at 2 in the afternoon, I think it is, on Christmas Eve day. He leaves behind a family that's not as well known as the Schoenberg family, but every bit as valuable. He has a son that has a merchandising store in Sedalia. He has a son that has a merchandising store in Moberly. He has a son that started a merchandising store in St. Charles and then moved west, and I think that may be the one that ended up in Moberly. The son of the Leo, who's the one that had this store in Moberly, turns out to be a physicist. He was on the faculty of the University of Missouri, a celebrated physicist. His son Sylvan, his youngest boy, moves to Donovan, Missouri, becomes a dentist. When he dies in 1965, it's noted that he owns 2 city blocks in the downtown area. Albert, the father, had, at the time of his death, was president of the Board of Aldermen. He had served on the school board for 11 years at that time. So they're worthwhile people. His son Otto marries a Calvert girl, and they raise a boy named Julian, who ends up being a celebrated physicist, whose son is a physicist. Julian writes a book, which you can buy here, of a walk down Main Street in the 30s. It's worth reading. And Julian leaves this museum a healthy endowment so that we can enjoy this building. The Schoengerts leave that up there with an endowment. The Hummel twins, their grandson finances this addition. Melna Bolam, who, anybody remember Melna? Methodist, nice Methodist lady, Buster. She leaves an endowment for this society. And then there's Myrtle Schwert. Myrtle Schwert told me she was raised in a tent on U Road. You know anything about that, Alvin? You don't know her family? Okay, well, anyhow, she told me she was raised in a tent down there. She and Wesley are not given one damn thing in their life. They earn everything. Wesley is a blacksmith here in town. She leaves in just before the .com bust. She leaves $400,000 to this organization for the maintenance of the building. These are all people who decided that they or their ancestors had received such a good start in this community that they wanted to carry on the work in this community. And they started with the college, I believe. It set the tone of the culture and the society here. And here we sit enjoying it. I would ask you all to remember and tell your stories. And there's no way to be wrong because it's your story. Anybody wants to dispute it, they can go to hell. It's your story. All right. Now, this thing couldn't have happened tonight without this lady right here, Janine Davis, who in the 1960s, he showed up on the front porch of my 8x45-foot mobile home that I pulled into Warrenton to make my fortune with. Fortune didn't turn out too well. Anyhow, he stayed and had chili with us that night while we were cooking. One of the warmest human beings I ever met. His wife was the same way. So's her daughter. Okay. Bill Brown with his aerial photography and the fact that he's a video. Thank you all for your interest in it and attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeannie, for that. Very entertaining, very educational, and it's always a great event when you have us do this. So, yeah. So, thank you all for showing up. We've got plenty of refreshments out here for you to enjoy. So, stick around, visit, enjoy. Thank you.